They also are equally naive. They don't want to read anything about scriptures. They are not translated in English. They do not know anything about mantra vidya. The mantra has to be connected with your development in your Kundalini. Not only that, but it should relate to the movement of the Kundalini. It should be given by a person who is a realized soul, Jagrut, awakened. Mantra has to be awakened. And that you will find in Sahaja Yoga that it is such a temporary thing. For example, the Kundalini is stopping at this point. Now what is the mantra of this point? Lord's Prayer. Or I forgive. To make it short. That's the weapon Christ has given us, of forgiveness. At this point, which stops your thinking. But any dictum and Hari cannot do it. You have to have realization first. Then only, because the Kundalini has reached there, you know that it is stopping there, then you have to say that, all right, this is Lord's Prayer. You say Lord's Prayer, it opens up. What is the mantra over here? Is Allahu Akbar. You put these fingers are of this center. You put them here and say Allahu Akbar 3 times, it will open up. But you have to be a realized soul to begin with, or the one who is telling you has to be realized soul. There has to be some authority from God, not from theological college or anything. It's a mockery to get knowledge of God in theological college. I mean, you must enter into the kingdom of God to know what He is, what it is like, what is His whole vidya, His knowledge. Divine knowledge is very different from the knowledge you have. Have you ever known that this is Vishuddhi Chakra before? You have never known this before, it's not written anywhere. Some things had to be told by me also. So this was left for me to be told. Now this chakra, of Vishuddhi Chakra, gives you the witness state that Krishna has described. That you become the Sakshi. I would like you to also listen to my tape on Sri Krishna, which is very good. Recently I spoke about him in a very detailed manner about Gita also. We can have all these tapes brought down here to Melbourne and listen to them, but only listening to them is of no use. It's no use. It will give you ideas and you'll start behaving again in a funny way. I do not want you to make the same pickle out of me as you have pickled out other people. Put it to practice. Because when I spoke in America, they were all taping me down. And everybody said, Mother, you should not allow them to tape because you see these are all writers and this and that and they will use your knowledge and spread the thing. I said, they will, let them do it. After all, Kundalini I have to awaken, they cannot do it. If they could do, I would be very happy to sit down. Let them do it, I'll be very happy. Anybody who says that why should you, I said very good, you come along here and do it. I'll be very happy to settle down because I gain nothing. What is my gain? Anybody who is willing to do it, I'll be very happy to retire, absolutely, because by God's grace, I'm a married woman and I'm very happily married. I have my own children and grandchildren. Why should I bother my head of going around the people traveling like this? Yesterday in Sydney, here in Melbourne, today again go back to Sydney, then to India. Why should I do it? For what? Only because I love, because I know it's my mission. I have to do it. I'm supposed to do it. This is the job I have. But if anybody else can do it, I'll be very happy for them to do it. Now, when it comes to all these awakening and all that, it's a thing that happens to you. It is a thing that moves within you. And you have to feel the movement. It is not a blind lane where you just pay some money in the counter and say, now we enter into the blind lane. And do what you like. Somebody says you jump, somebody says you do this and do that. Nothing. Everything is logic. First your Kundalini must arise. If it does not arise, I cannot give you a certificate. You cannot give a certificate. Nobody can give you a certificate. It's nothing artificial. So in America when I went and told them, and they had tape recorders and all that, something bad has also come out of it because it's a born again. All these things have come from there, only from my lectures. Because I told the Christians when they called me, thinking me to be Christian in the churches, you see, they thought this is bona fide. Because I was baptized according to them. So I should be baptized by these people. So I am all right. I was bona fide. They called me in the churches. You see. And they also collected a collection for me. Very interesting. But the best part of it, some of them got up certain words. I said, you are to be born again, you are to be born again. So they have got a now cult called Born Again. Finished. It's very difficult to talk to these mad people. Anything you tell them, they make a cult out of it. Anything you know, they want to pickle out. You see, it's such a difficult thing with human beings. They don't want to take to reality. They want to have their ego everywhere asserting, by which they pluck out all that is living and make that dead ugly and say, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. It's absurd. But this is what happens to us. Now about Christ, I think the greatest message of Christ is his resurrection. This is resurrection. That he showed what Krishna has said in his lifetime, that the spirit doesn't die. It cannot be killed. It cannot be blown out. It has to rise. And it rises. Whatever you may try, it is eternal. And that's I'm sorry, I was dealing with some newspaper people, journalists. They came very late. Whatever it is, I found them to be very sensible and very understanding. All of us have come to Aurangabad now, and it seems this place is full of vibrations. Maybe here Shalivahanas ruled in this area, but also there have been many saints who were born on this side of Maharashtra, and they perpetuated dharma. They always talked about self-realization. Dharma gives you the balance. It gives you the establishment into proper behavior, proper understanding, proper living, but it doesn't give you the completion of your journey. It doesn't give you the satisfaction of reaching the destination. And your personality is still incomplete. So one has to have the experience of the Spirit. As I was discussing with them today, I told them that those who do not have the experience of the Spirit are not only incomplete but are limited people. So whatever they see or whatever they know or whatever they criticize is limited. As in English we say that hate the sin and not the sinner. Like many people who find something wrong with Christianity start blaming Christ. Christ did not create Christianity, first of all. He did not create Christianity. He did not create Christians. So there's no relationship between the two. As you know, recently they have found out the books written by Thomas, the disciple of Christ, who was coming to India On his way, he went to Egypt. And there, he wrote these treatises and had put them in a big earthen vessel, or perhaps it was a metallic thing. And it was discovered 42 years back. The people whom he considers to be authorized Christians, he calls them as Gnostic. Gna in Sanskrit language means to know. Gna means to know. And he has written that to know and to have the personal experience is the only way to follow Christ, clearly. Not only that, but said that God Almighty, who is so kind, why will He ask you to suffer? So it challenges all the Christian principles of sufferings. In the same way, in all religions, people have diverted from the right path and have come to the wrong path, and are indulging into self-created religions which has no relationship with reality or with the incarnations, those who started those religions or who gave the ideas of religion. I hope you won't do that to me, because you are Gnostic people. You are the ones who know, who have had self-realization. Without self-realization, you cannot have a complete personality. But as you see in Sahaja Yoga, you don't have to go to Himalayas to give up your families. You don't have to be away from the society to get your realization. You get your realization in the circumstances where you are born. In the same society, in the same family life, but you rise higher than them and try to pull them out of the mire in which they are existing. This mire of ignorance has to be crossed. And some of you have to do it. And when you realize that, then you should know that you all have to be very strong people. You all have to be extremely strong. If you are not strong enough, how can you pull out the rest of them? People who are mediocre think that gradually they'll be all right and that they'll come up. But I would suggest that you should make all-out effort to become strong Sahaja Yogis. To become strong Sahaja Yogis is not difficult, because you have all the powers within yourselves. You have the Kundalini within yourselves, and you know the way how to become a realized soul. The problems are of you being dragged into your ego or into your conditioning. Only two problems, not more. Like somebody asked, how many turns there are in London? Only two, left or right. So either you go to the left or to the right. All the permutations and combinations of this left and right starts working, and then you get into trouble. And then you get into problems. But actually it is a very simple thing. To get out of your ego should be the simplest, and that is where you try to understand yourself. You see yourself, how you are reacting, where is your attention, what are you doing, what is your attitude towards Sahaja Yoga. So many people think that this is my house, this is my family, this is my car, this is my horse, This is my dog. I don't know how far it goes. My. But nothing is yours. Yesterday, as Kabira has said it, that some cheat, that is the death, will come and take away everything. That is not yours. Then my family. Then my children. All this is a nonsense. And so, when you start getting attached to this word my, there where you fail completely into your own understanding of your ego, you are completely blinded by this ego. First of all, you should say that nothing is mine. Kabira has said that when the goat is living, she goes on saying, my means I, in Hindi language. It's played a pun on the word my. And when she dies, and her intestines are taken out, are made into something that spins the cotton, they go on the street, these people, telling people that they are around. They go on playing on that string, which is made from the intestines of these goats. It says tu hi, meaning you are. So one need not be like a goat, that till you live you go on saying I, my. When you die, then your intestines are to be taken out and put on that thing just to make the sound tu hi. So this sound of I is made only by egoistical human beings. But this ego is so much identified with you that you think that I am this ego and ego is me. And in that ego, you start doing all kinds of nonsensical things. This ego takes you nowhere. It takes you nowhere but into a complete mire of ignorance about yourself. Ultimately, you become stupid. Others can tell you that you are stupid, or you become idiotic, or you get a bad name and everybody knows that you are doing all wrong things. But nobody dare tell you, because you are to be reached with a barge pole. Such a hot-tempered personality you become, nobody dare come you and say that this is wrong, it should not be done, it's stupid, idiotic. And you yourself in that idiocy and stupidity think no end of yourself. This is the extreme of your ego. But it's nice, we had people like Hitler to see. So if you put Hitler as the ideal egoist, then you will not go on that road, because it's a very slippery road, and maybe one day you land up there. The second side of ours, which is looks very morbid and very mild, is the left side. The movement on the left side is the emotional side. You develop habits with the left side. Now, some people have very dangerous habits, some have simple habits. Like, I have a bad habit or good habit, you may say, that I must put my right hand under my foot because it's all the time working, so I want to control it. So, no, I put it under my head like this while sleeping, and sometimes under my foot, just to make it a little bit stop working. It works too hard, just to give it rest. So under my pillow I put it and sleep. But I discovered once I hurt myself that I now cannot put it under my head. I said, it's a very funny habit I have got, but it's not such a dangerous one. It's quite good. So I am continuing with it. But I can get rid of it. It's very simple. But when I get rid of it, I think the people become overactive, so I put it again under my pillow. So as Sahaja Yogi, all your habits should be under your control. Now the habits we have formed through drugs, from drinking, from anything, are very dangerous habits. Also people have their attention being all the time around. All the time is attention here, there and there, attracting people, looking after them, not looking after yourself. This attention has to be brought under control, is very important. That's very simple, that whenever it happens, you just put down your eyes. Keep your eyes down. That's one of the ways we allow our attention to fritter away and also our growth becomes stunted. This is a very, very dangerous thing which in the West especially we have developed. Here also people must read every shop's name. Indians have a bad habit because they have just now started reading, so they want to read everything that they find, anything. So on the road, if there's a road of shops, they'll read every name of every shop, turn round again and see if they have missed anything. It sounds stupid, but they all do it. And all the time they are doing it. So the attention, wherever it goes, has to be under our control. We have to keep it all the time under our control. As Namadeva has said very clearly, in Guru Granth Sahib has written that when a little child is flying a kite, he's talking to everyone. He's playing in a way, but his attention is on the kite. And when a housewife is carrying her duties, putting her child on her waist and working, then she is doing all kinds of work, but her attention is on the child. The ladies who are carrying 3-4 earthen pots on their heads, water filled up to the brim, are walking, talking to each other, having mirth and enjoyment, but the attention is on the earthen pot on their heads. In the same way, whatever adventure you are into, whatever you are doing, your attention should be on your spirit. Then everything is under control and you